Hello and welcome back to the Science of Foliage series with the Mirelurks videos. So today we've already looked at the sort of origin of the Mirelurks and where they came from. So today we are looking at how they behave in the game, where you can find them, how they organise, where they nest and that kind of thing, because they are a common enemy to come across in a number of places in both Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. And they can sometimes take you by surprise because of their habit of kind of hiding, but they do tend to stay near water, which makes sense given that they are aquatic and they originate from aquatic creatures. So this guy, just walking along the road, this guy appeared in front of me, so we're going to go to a couple of places to kind of see where the Mirelurks have been coming into things. So we're going to look at Irish Pride Industries in Fallout 4, and we're going to pay a visit to the Anchorage Memorial in Fallout 3 as well. So let's head over to Irish Pride Industries shipyard and learn about a young man called Rory Rigwell and his story with the Mirelurks. Okay, so you find me here in the Commonwealth outside the Irish Pride Industries shipyard. So just to show you where we are on the map, so Diamond City's over here, Bunker Hill's there, Greentop Nursery to the north, so we're right on here. So this is the Irish Pride Industries shipyard. So we are going to learn the story of a man called Rory Rigwell who meant well, but unfortunately things didn't really kind of go too well for him. So let's head inside and hopefully Dogmeat will appear because he seems to have gone missing. And going through a loading screen might bring him back from wherever he's gone. Yep, there he is. Hello, good boy. Right, so this front door takes us into an office where they were storing some bones and a typewriter, you know, usual office furniture, I guess. So you might be able to hear something, and we've got some Mirelurk hatchlings in here. This is a locker room. Dogmeat is kind of wrecking the place, but yeah, so locker room, there's some random sports equipment, cigarettes and ribcage and pelvis, and some cycle, and some Mirelurk hatchlings. So maybe not too surprising given that, you know, this is a shipyard, that there might be little tiny Mirelurks hanging around. That just gonna see.
A calm murky is a happy murky.
So yep, there's some calm murky's a happy murky. So let me just double check because I don't know if I've got something going on with it. Yeah, all the subtitles are on. It's just not. Yeah, you can see the red dots all over my compass. So here we've got a Mirelurk hunter. So I think it is guaranteed that there's going to be at least one kind of higher level Mirelurk in this place when you get here. I'm at quite a low level, so wouldn't really be able to do much damage to this guy. But yeah, you can see it's pretty clear to me that these guys are much more lobster-like than their crabby counterparts. And I think both these doors basically led to the same place. Yep. Yeah. So there's hatchlings, there's a hunter. There's a levitating skeleton, so that's quite impressive. Don't want to get too close and disturb the levitating skeleton. That's a cool trick. But yeah, you're hearing the little kind of announcements over the sort of speaker system every so often. And that is the man whose story we came here to learn about. So, grow up gentle and giant. So, you know, nice positive affirmations for the Mirelurks.
A calm murky is a happy murky.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Rory's terminal. Peace, joy, and Mirelurks. So, breeding notes. It's amazing how far the colony has come since the first orphan hatchlings. I was so worried the Mirelurks wouldn't survive, but they've done the opposite. They've thrived. I like to think it's because of my positive energy and love.
Mean murkies just need to find their happy place.
So, mean murkies just need to find their happy place. Feeding notes. They're always so hungry, my little murkies. I have to remember to throw their food away from myself. They almost pinched me again the other day. They don't know what they're doing, the poor things. Security notes. I've decided to keep my trunk of values in the Mirelurk nest underneath the ship for safekeeping, but I'll have to be more careful. Some bad people snuck in the other day, despite my warnings. And my murkies did something dreadful. I'm glad none of my pets got hurt, but it was frightening to see them kill so casually. Must work more on their training. So, Rory Rigwell has been raising these Mirelurks and trying to train them to be nicer. So, only positive messages for my Mirelurks, and you can turn it on or off at this terminal. So yeah, this guy's trying to raise these Mirelurks to be good and productive members of society. So be nice. Unfortunately, there's a tattoo magazine here, so a new tattoo option. So that's Rory's notes on what he's doing in this place. And we have to come down here so we can see we've got some open eggs and then some more Mirelurks kind of popping out of the ground. So we've got soft shell Mirelurk. So yeah, that's one thing. If you've played any of Fallout 4, you know this is something that they like to do, is they like to hide like they're not there, and then they pop up out of nowhere. I've got some eggs, another Mirelurk. This one's a kind of standard Mirelurk. And if you get too close to the nest, you get a bunch of hatchlings coming out. The usual nonsense. And yep, there's some more. There's a razor claw. So yeah, there's always a selection and a variety of different types of Mirelurks in this place. There's some more babies hatching. Yeah, it would be quite a threat if I hadn't turned off the combat. And then there is Rory Rigwell, so yeah, unfortunately he didn't survive his time with the Mirelurks. whether it was them that killed them, probably was. And then there's a steamer trunk as a reward. So this was a situation. This is obviously an old ship that was in for repairs. So he was trying to rear these Mirelurks as pets and train them and give them some nice positive affirmations to make them better and not as aggressive. But yeah, it's kind of a sad one, because obviously this guy meant well with his Murkies. He's trying to make them, you know, better members of the Wasteland Society, but Mirelurks are not that willing to listen. Yeah, so we've got the hatchlings. These guys are obviously just very tiny, but definitely slightly more kind of lobstery looking tails, but they've still got their kind of thick carapace on them to protect themselves. And then we saw the kind of, I'm going to say crab-like Mirelurks down below, where they've got the shell, the thick carapace on top. Unlike the hunters, which are definitely lobsterish, just the shape of their body is different. Again, they do still have a nice chitin kind of exoskeleton on them, but it's less of a shell and more kind of skin and sort of plating, but they've got the kind of lobstery tails and the claws. So yeah, so that was the unfortunately tragic story of Rory Rigwell, who was trying to help and trying to make the Mirelurks nicer, but the Mirelurks were not really willing to cooperate. But the key lets you out the back door. So yeah, it does kind of indicate that the Mirelurks probably aren't going to be that easy to domesticate. So now let's head over to the capital Wasteland and explore the Anchorage Memorial, which is one of probably the first places you'll encounter Mirelurks in Fallout 3. So I'll meet you there. So when you play through Fallout 3, depending on how you approach things, probably one of your first kind of times that you'll maybe come across the Mirelurks is if you are doing the Wasteland Survival Guide. So one of them, the tasks Moira gives you is to collect some data on the Mirelurks, and she sends you here, which is the Anchorage War Memorial that's right on the Potomac. I've come in the wrong side, because basically what she wants you to plant a monitoring device in the nest without alerting the Mirelurks. And oh for Ted, who's Ted? Because Ted's dead. Oh, of course, back when we actually had a separate tab for like notes and things, that is one thing that they really missed with in Fallout 4, was taking this away. Ted, the Mirelurks busted out the storage area and have been raising hell through the whole facility. Price says the bastards get smarter every day. He says I'm paranoid, but I think somebody might be sabotaging things around here. We've taken on so much extra help, I don't know who I can I don't know who I can trust around here anymore. Things don't look too good. I don't think I'll be walking out of here, and I figure you should be the one to get our stash. Managed to get it hidden pretty well in case something like this happened. Don't want any of these damn fools tripping over it, so I threw a couple of curves in, but it's nothing you can't handle. Start with my terminal, just log in and follow the instructions, and if for some reason you've forgotten the password, you might want to sit down and have a think with a Nuka-Cola, if you catch my drift. If this damn meat weren't in such high demand, I'd have pulled out of this racket before the word go. I got too greedy, Ted. Okay, so there's a whole mystery to solve here which I've never come across before. But yeah, Ted's dead, sadly. Wish I was able to say that in a it just makes me think. So yeah, because this is, they've got like basically vault signs here of dimensions. Yeah, I've never really explored this place properly before, which I'm starting to think is maybe a mistake. So Wastelander. Okay, just a random. Oh, there's cash register. Sure. Got a bed with some blood all over it. A bunch of toys and stuff. Then the clinic. Okay, there's a safe. What's in the safe? Door component contains electronics listing pack. Okay. Maybe I should have gone and looked at the terminal first, but I can hear the Mirelurks. Hello. Okay. I'm taking you on a bit of an adventure here. Let's just go. Pacifists? Nope. There we go. Nope. Okay. Here we go. Right, okay, I see. So, yep, Ted, remember I hid this stash for you to find. Don't trust anybody, especially anybody who works for me. Do this alone. Busted the storage door down near the service entrance. There's a floor safe in the clinic that contains the parts to fix the broken door. A repair manual. That explains what we found there. Just in case you've got rusty, but you were always a wizard with a wrench, so I'm sure you'll be fine. Now get going. Interesting. So, yeah, basically he left a note for Ted to use the safe to unlock that safe in the clinic, so that he could then open the broken door. And so the implication seems to be that they were sort of farming the Mirelurks for their meat, because their meat is quite good, so it probably does fetch a decent price. But then maybe there's been some sabotage that has gone quite wrong, especially given that the entire place is full of Mirelurks. So let's get a good look at you, because you're standing in quite a good light. So yeah, you can see they've got typical kind of pincers that you'd expect to see with a crab. Their eyes and their face here. More developed kind of arms and legs, and less of them than you'd expect to see, because they are, you know, horseshoe crabs. They do have a few sets of legs essentially, but they've got this thick tough carapace, which is sort of chitinous and sort of keratin, and then the little tails. So this kind of carapace looks quite similar to, I'll just push it out of the way a wee bit, pal. Quite similar to what you see with the horseshoe crab, and it's also, I mean, the horseshoe crab is a very, very ancient species. It's also what the Pokemon Kabuto and Kabutops are based on, I believe, as well as this kind of crab. And one thing, when you're the shotgun's not the best one to demonstrate that. I'm not going to kill this guy because that feels a bit mean, but so if you take a look at them with that, so apparently we're not naming that. So yeah, torso, you can see it's doing a wee bit of damage, slightly more for the arms. A bit more for the legs. But as a rule, you know, taking shots at the torso is quite difficult, but you can see even from this distance I've only got a 65% chance at the face, but it does significantly more damage, so that's always the rule of thumb when you're dealing with the Mirelurks, is to go for the face. Yeah, so you can see that they just don't take that much damage at all from energy weapons and even ballistics. But if you get them in the face, then you'll do a lot more damage to them. Go, let's get some light on you. So yeah, we've got Mirelurk Hunter here, which is a, you know, the tougher kind of variant. Also has more arms and a kind of more pincery tail. So they've got larger, kind of more serrated claws, plus extra ones, and thicker sort of armour, really thicker shells, thicker protection, some spikes and things. So you know, the Mirelurk Hunters are the much tougher variant of the Mirelurks in this game, and I can probably demonstrate that with the hunting rifle, and see the difference in terms of, like, yeah, hardly doing any damage at all. And do more when you get them in the face, but these guys are obviously just so much tougher. Okay, what have I found? Down near the service entrance. I know your handler's given you the location of the job and your basic orders. Here are the details. Traders have been making a killing with Mirelurk meat and we've been losing business because of it. One of our people got involved with a caravan supplier and we finally know where it's all been coming from. The meat's mostly coming from one group holed up along the river, smack in the middle of the ruins. There's a huge old facility under some war memorial where they've herded up a nest of Mirelurks and have been breeding and butchering them. They've been in business for months and they're sure to be sitting on a pile of caps. Take what you can carry, we just want them out of the meat market, the rest is up to you. This isn't the biggest job, but pull it off clean and there's plenty more work for a man with your skills. Get back to the handler as soon as your job is done and we'll be in touch. So yeah, clearly because these people have been making so much money from their Mirelurk farming gig, somebody sent mercenaries in to kind of wipe them out basically, or to put them out of business. Go. We find it, right, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, this is the stash key. Okay. Bottle caps. And a note. More money. Okay, I'm totally off on a tangent here, but I'm going through our recipes. Footlocker. Some chems. Right. Let's see. Stash is hidden downstairs in one of the freezers Rocky set up. You know his style, don't forget the key. Right. Okay. So I guess that's kind of back up to where we were, where the butchery room is. There's some more Mirelurks. And then this leads outside, so I've got another deadly cylinder here. So yeah, you can see that there's obviously been a few kind of random wastelanders that have kind of stumbled into this place inadvertently, but yeah, Moira sends you in here and then you place a monitoring device. Ah, there we go. Right, let's see what's in this stash then. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, I've done quite a lot wandering about to explore this place, because there's actually a whole story about Ted and his buddies who were making a killing in the meat trade for Mirelurk meat out of here, and then some mercenaries took them down because they were doing too well, but this is where you can get the recipe for Mirelurk cakes. Which you can't actually, I don't think you can make it in this game, but it's nice to have. It's nice to have. So yep, that's the kind of, this would be the first place that you come across the Mirelurks, in the Anchorage War Memorial, which is right in the Potomac. So we'll see if I can find a way out of here. But yeah, so the first time if you come here during the Wasteland Survival Guide, you probably only need to contend with kind of your standard Mirelurks. But because my character is nearly, what are we, level 17? Yeah. So we do start to get the hunters showing up, and probably the occasional Mirelurk King will turn up as well. But yeah, I mean, rule of thumb really is if there's water, you expect to find Mirelurks of some variety. So there we go. I've no idea what I've discovered here, but there's apparently a lot more to this place than I ever knew. But here we have the Mirelurk King of the Fallout 3 generation, so you can see the look is quite different from the crab-like version. So these guys have these long kind of reinforced necks. They have what appear to be like teeth, but could also be like a beak from like a turtle or something. And they've got sort of webbing and fins on their arms and claws. The lake lurks that you find in New Vegas are basically a reskinned version of these. They do have like a kind of sonic attack that they can attack from distance. So there's no shell like with the crab-like Mirelurks, but they do have quite a thick reinforced skin with all these kind of spikes and things that give them some protection. And that's target just to see. So like them all, the head is the weak point, the face is the weak point. But these guys are the highest kind of level that you find in this game, so they are quite tough. Even so, like, no, it's only a hunting rifle, but really, you know, not very much damage. But the head is the vulnerable spot if you attack these guys. So these are the higher level ones, so you generally won't see them around until you're kind of at the sort of higher level, generally from about level 15 up, I think, because before the DLC the kind of level cap was 20, so anything above 15 is considered kind of high level. But yeah, I'm underneath the Anchorage War Memorial, and I went through the offices and found myself in this cave full of Mirelurk eggs and things that I've never seen before, so I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if this connects to where they were keeping all the Mirelurks, or yeah, because you can kind of see why. Like, obviously Mirelurks are quite dangerous, but their meat also does make for some pretty decent eating. Oh, this is the mine bridge. So, you know, it's a reason that people maybe wouldn't necessarily want to completely eradicate them. Oh, hello. So yeah, the Mirelurks are outside as well, so we're right here in the Potomac. We've got some egg clutches, we've got Mirelurk here. There's one in the water as well. Yeah. There's a hunter coming out of the water. So it is something to bear in mind. Obviously, the water here is radioactive. And interestingly, they seem to have evolved the need for there to be radioactive water, because even if you don't put the FEV in the water when you complete the main story, you do find that the Mirelurks actually die off around Project Purity because the water's too clean for them, which is interesting. So when you start kind of the post game with Broken Steel, you can talk to one of the scribes about it, and you can find that the Mirelurks around Project Purity actually die because the water's too clean for them. So that's an interesting little aside, but I'll show you just where we are on the map. So I say it's often the first place you'll come across Mirelurks if if you go to Megaton and do the Wasteland Survival Guide, which I typically do, because for one thing, the rewards for the Wasteland Survival Guide are pretty good. It's quite an interesting quest that takes you to a few places, so Moy will send you here. So, Vault 101's here, Megaton, Super Duper Mart, Farragut West Metro Station, then you've got GNR, Chevy Chase over here, the mall, the museums and the Washington Monument and things are down here, and then Dukov's place is nearby, the Tepid Sewers, which is where you use the repellent stick on all the mole rats, and DuPont Station, and then the Anchorage Memorial, which is kind of in the water, and this obviously the Potomac running through. A lot of question marks. So we know that they're arthropods and likely crustacean or Chelicerata, Merostomata, Malacostraca. Oh, I hate Latin names. I find them so hard to pronounce. But yeah, so this and order, family and genus, so the question marks here, they're not really sure exactly what the Mirelurk is. It's thought to be have evolved from horseshoe crabs, but it's kind of unknown. But after going to enormous lengths to procure DNA samples of hypothesised forebears, we cannot explain why ancestry evidence is present from two vastly different creatures. The Limulus polyphemus, the horseshoe crab, and the Calanectes sapidus, the blue crab. It's obvious that a mutation occurred given this creature bipedal movement and massive growth, but I cannot explain the presence of multiple subphylum markers in DNA/RNA. Given their mystifying origins, I have decided the species deserves its own classification and have thus dubbed them Scilla serrata horrendus. Fair enough. They can often be found in sewers and caves and should be considered hostile and very dangerous, as their chitinous shell provides excellent resistance to both firearms and handheld weapons. They are disgusting creatures, and I cannot fathom their popularity as a food source among the citizens of the wasteland. So this guy doesn't really like the Mirelurks, and this is something I think it's important to remember about the Mirelurks. And especially when you take into account the Mirelurk Kings in this game, the Lake Lurks you find in Fallout New Vegas, and then the variety of them that you encounter in Fallout 4 with the Mirelurk Queen, with the Hunters, and
standard patrol procedures.
They all look like different kinds of crustaceans, different kinds of sort of shellfish. As the Hunters look more kind of like lobsters or crayfish. The Mirelurk Queen is I'm not really sure what she is, to be honest, but you know, it's the fact. But then your kind of standard Mirelurks tend to look more
Standing down
like
from alert.
the horseshoe
Spokes, please.
crabs,
Standard patrol
No
procedures.
whereas even in these games, the Mirelurk Kings and the Lake Lurks look almost humanoid, and they don't have the shell and things. So it does seem like Mirelurk is a catch-all term for kind of crustacean-like creatures. And from this terminal, it does look like we could have some DNA mixing going on, which is something that can happen.
Target trace lost.
You know, you get kind of hybridization and
Cancel
things
alert.
like that. It's quite interesting because there's instances in our evolution where we've basically joined forces with another species, and the biggest one is the mitochondria. So everybody knows the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but what a lot of people don't realise is that mitochondria were at one point a kind of bacteria that
Zoom standard patrol
moved
procedure.
into
Target trace lost.
eukaryotic
Got
cells
nothing here.
and just decided to kind of hang around and stay there and be part of the cells, and obviously they provide a place for energy production to take place, but they also carry DNA, so there's mitochondrial DNA, and there can be genes and things passed down. There's a lot of these kinds of things happen, and you know, the idea, I suppose, is that radiation has possibly been a factor in allowing these kind of hybridizations to take place. So you know, that's kind of the Enclave's take on Mirelurks.